Hi everyone, in this modern time now when we have to sit a lot at work, we have a common problem among everyone, that is tight hips and back pain. This is so common, and nowadays more and more people and younger people get this problem, even people at their 20s. So this yoga sequence is very simple and very gentle, that will stretch you out in your hips and lower back and inner thighs and bring more blood circulation into this area, at the same time as releasing tension that store up here when you sit at work so much. We're going to use some yoga blocks. The most important thing is 2 pillows that are the same kind. If you don't have 2 pillows, you can use 2 towels and fold them into the same thickness. And here I have a yoga bolster that I use. If you don't have a yoga bolster, you can use just any long pillow or a pile of pillow to support you when you hold the poses. So let's start on the ground with your hands and your knees on the ground. We're going to warm up your spine in cat and cow. So you inhale cow pose and exhale cat pose. Cow pose is when you're arching your back, you're raising your chest and your tailbone up. And cat pose is the other way, when you are being rounded, with your chest go up high and your tailbone go low. So let's move between these cat and cow for a few times to warm up your spine and get more flexibility and mobility in your torso. And then let's stay still in the table pose. Now let's bring your right knee from the floor and bend your right knee very much. You can point your right toes a little bit. Let's paint big circle by touching your knee to your right arm, opening your right knee out, bringing your right knee back, and touching your right knee to the other knee again. And continue this circle. Try to make the circle as big as you can so that you discover the range of movement that you have in your hips, which means try to see how far and which direction your hips joint can move. Okay, and then let's reverse the action, so still moving in a circle, but do it the other way. Right, and eventually let's bring your right knee outside of your right hand. Now you can see your right thigh bone pointing out like diagonally, and your shin bone will be in front of your groin. Let's move back with your hips so that your hips come back and closer toward the floor. And now it's very natural that many people cannot sit on the ground. That's why we prepare the pillow here. If you have yoga blocks, you can sit on the blocks too. But put a pillow underneath your hips and try to turn your left hip down to the floor all the time. Because if you don't do that, the stretch will not be effective anymore. So always turning your left hip down. If you have yoga blocks, you can lower your forearms and rest your head on the yoga block like this. If you have a bolster or a pile of pillow that you like, you can use this to rest your torso on. So you can turn your face to one side, and later when you change side, change where you look to. And let's stay here for a few breaths and start feeling it stretching you in the buttock of your right side. The longer you stay in the pose, the more you feel the stretch. And try to identify the location of the stretch. Try to describe your own feeling, because that's how we learn about our own body. I can teach you this shape, but I cannot know how you feel. So this one is stretching you in all the layers of your glute muscles. And to some people, stretching the inner thighs also. So it's you who describe your own feeling. Anytime that you feel like you can go deeper into the pose, let's move your whole hips back and down closer toward the floor. as it's stretching you in the glute and all the layers underneath your glute muscles. It's stretching you in the lower back also, because they're all related to each other. And one more thing is that if your back pain is related to the sciatica, which is a big nerve that running from our upper body down to your lower body. The back pain can be created when you have tight muscles around the sciatica that squeeze into the nerve. So this stretch can definitely release the tension. So now you just stay here, trying to relax in your face, your shoulders and your neck. And try to maintain your long, deep breath. If you feel extremely hard in your knee and such knee pain that you cannot stand, then you can get out of the pose and find another class that I make for people with knees problem to release the same part. Let's stay here for a bit longer time. Let's stay here for a few more breaths. Feel the stretch going deeper and deeper into the layers of your buttock. And we're going to slowly get out of the pose by bringing your hands down to the floor. Remove things. And bring your back leg forward. So slowly move your left leg forward. Let's bring your left shin bone down to the floor and parallel to the edge of your mat. Let's sit on the pillow so that both of your sitting bone will be supported. This pose is called Firelog pose, Agni Stambhasana. And you're going to stack your right ankle on top of your left knee, and your right knee will be somewhere on top of your left ankle. Your shin bones are stacking on each other, just like Firelog stacking on each other. So now it's very natural that there's a gap between two legs. You can fill up the gap with a pillow so that the pose will become more comfortable. And let's flex your ankles slightly so that you can protect your knee. So point your toes, point your ankles up slightly. Make your ankles like kind of a 90-degree position. Now let's bring your fingertips to the side of your body and push through the floor to raise yourself up. Only by doing this to many people is already a big stretch in their right hips right now. So if you feel like this is enough for you, let's just stay here. Otherwise, if you want more, or if you get used to the pose and you are ready to go deeper, let's start leaning yourself forward. So the closer you put your chest toward your shin bone, the deeper the stretch will happen in your back and your buttock. Maybe you can rest your elbows on the top of your shin bone like this. This was a variation I did when I just started doing yoga. And I did this pose like almost every day to watch TV or to do other things. So if you like this pose and you think it's effective for you, you can do the same. Like you can doing phone stuff here in the pose. But remember to do it on both sides and at the same amount of time. Okay. You can relax your head. And this stretch may not feel so comfortable for your body, and that's completely normal. What your body do is that it will try to hold back. But you tell your body, tell your hips to let go. And every time you exhale, think of how you are letting go of all the tension in your hips and your low back area out through your nose. Then maybe you can start moving deeper by bringing your forearms down toward the floor and in front of your shin bones. You can stay here, and the stretch is now much more intense on my body. If you have yoga blocks, and you can rest your head on the block, you can do that. Otherwise, just keep your head in any position that make your head feel relaxed and comfortable. Try to make your body and your mind think that this pose is relaxing and stress relieving. And actually, by doing this, you are bringing a lot of blood circulation into your low back and your buttock. And at the same time, it's a pain and stress relief for this area. Always tell your body to just let go in the hips. Don't hold back. Just let the tension out. And if you like this yoga pose and you want to stay here for longer, you can pause the video because I'm moving out of the pose and doing it on the other side. So as I get out of the pose, I'm going to walk my hands back and I'm going to move my legs. Bring the legs in front of you and shake your legs. Swing your legs from side to side, make some nice movement. And then let's slowly go back into the table pose. Now in table pose, let's do 1 or 2 cat and cow. And then let's bring your left leg up. Bend your knees and point your toes and start painting circle with your left leg. Here, try to touch your knee into your left arm, open your knee out, send your knee back, touching your knee to the other knee. And keep doing this. Try to make the circle as big as you can. And then let's reverse the circling. So we are discovering the mobility of your hip joints. We want to see how far and to which direction it can go. And then let's bring your left knee on the outside of your left hand. Now your heel will be in front of your groin and you're going to move back with your hips. So if you can have your hip on the floor, then it's awesome, but remember, don't flip yourself to the side like this because it will not be so effective. Let's keep your right hip facing the ground and then use a pillow to support underneath your left buttock here. Now let's bring your forearms down to the floor. If you have a pillow, let's rest on your pillow. Otherwise, you can just keep your forearms on the ground or rest your head on a block. Here in the pillow, feel free to just lay down and rest on the pillow, looking to the other side. But I'm going to speak, so I'm going to be here. And the same here, let's start feeling it, the stretch in your left buttock. The longer you stay in the pose, the more you feel it. Stretching you in all the layers of your left bums. And if you feel like you get used to the pose and you want more, you can move your hip back, bring your back leg further and further behind you. Let's close your eyes and rest your head on the pillow or on the block. Maybe you can lower yourself and feel more stretch happening. And stretching you not only in the buttock but also in your low back area. So it's releasing the stress that accumulated in the low back. And also, just like I told you before, it can release the muscles around the sciatica. So if your back pain is related to sciatica, this can fix it. Try to describe your own feeling and try to understand where you feel the stretch. Some people feel it more in the low back, some people feel it very much in the buttock, but some just doesn't feel there at all. They feel somewhere else, like their thighs or their inner thighs. So I'll just give you the idea of the pose, but you have to see how it works on your body. Practice body awareness, notice what happened in your body, and then you can share to me in the comment what you feel, what you observed. And now I'm going to get out of this pose so that I go to the Firelog pose. Move your back leg forward and prepare your pillow so that you can sit on the pillow with both of your sitting bones. Now we're going to bring your right leg underneath. Keep the shin bone parallel to the mat, to the edge of the mat, and then stack your left leg on the top. So your left ankle should be on the top of your right knee, and your left knee should be on the top of your right ankle. Your shin bones are stacking on each other like Firelog, stacking on each other. That's why it's called Firelog pose, I think. So let's fill up the gap, if you have, between your knee and your ankle with a pillow. Let's flex your ankle a little bit, like almost 90 degrees to protect your knee. And hold your fingertips next to you. Let's inhale, raise yourself up. And stay here if this feels already much for you, especially if you have very tight back and hips. For example, men, or I don't know, whichever condition that stop you from going further, just stay here for now. Otherwise, you can start moving forward. The lower you can put your chest toward your shin bone, the more you can feel the stretch. So now let's start with bringing your forearms to your shin bone and stay here. This was where I started out when I started doing yoga, and this felt crazy much for me back then. So you can just start here and make sure both of your sitting bones are on the ground. And maybe compare between your left side and your right side. We all have a dominating side that, without knowing, work more than the other side. Therefore, the muscles on that side get tighter. So to me, in my body, it's definitely my right leg working more than my left leg. I don't know about you. Maybe you can let me know after this class. So now start feeling stretching all the way from the middle back down to the low back and all the way through the buttock and thighs. Keep breathing deeply as if you are bringing new fresh air and new fresh energy into your tight areas to open it up. And think of when you exhale, you are bringing tightness and stress and tension out through your nose. And then let's bring your forearms down toward the floor in front of your ankle. You can keep your hands here on the ground. If you like resting your head on the blocks, you can do that here. But make sure that you can still really rest and relax your head here. Don't make any tension around your head and your neck. Otherwise, you can just keep your head like this, like relaxing. Close your eyes and try to keep your face really calm. It's very easy to store up tension into the face. And we don't even know how to stretch it out, so don't do that. Think of how you are letting go of everything in your body. The only thing that is still working is your ankle, trying to flex to protect your knee. But otherwise, always tell your hips to let go, to relax. If you feel like the stretch is too much for you, you can always get a bit out of the pose and later get back again. And keep your long, slow breath to keep you calm. The key to stretch is relaxation, because if you think, oh my God, when will this end? It's too much, it's crazy, I hate this. All these thoughts will make a defense on your body, and it will contract the muscles to hold back, to protest. So train your mind and your body to think that this is a relaxing situation where you actually are releasing tension inside your body. It's actually a good thing, so let's enjoy it. And if you like this pose, you can pause the video and stay here for a bit longer. Otherwise, let's start walking your hand back and get out of the pose. I'm going to move all the pillows and bring the legs in front of the mat. Shake your legs a little bit. Swing your legs from side to side. Do any relaxing movement that you want to do with your legs. You can bend your knees and bring your legs from side to side. Okay, and then we're going to do the last pose for the flow of today, the frog pose. Now I'm going to use this big pillow to support myself because this pose is quite deep. If you don't have a pillow, you can still do the pose. I'm going to guide you how. Now we're going to put this pillow on the outside of your mat. If you don't have pillows, fold up 2 towels at the same height and put them here. Now from table pose, I'm going to put one knee into one pillow and I'll put the inner side of the knee. Now your knee is being flexed like about 90 degrees and your ankle too. And now the inner edge of your foot will be touching the floor. Your toes are pointing out. And do the same with the other leg. So this is a frog pose. You can start bringing your forearms down to the floor. And if you don't have a pillow, you can just rest your forearms here. Now the thing is that you will have to bring your hip back and back. Because if you move your hip forward, you will not feel the stretch. So the key here is to bring your hips back and stay here when you find a stretch that is suitable for you. In this kind of pose, you're going to stretch the inner thigh. So it's quite tight because of our sitting habits that we do every day now in the modern time. Just let go and you can close your eyes and think of exhale, letting go. So it's kind of like a meditation or a mind training. You don't think about it as painful. Pain is absolutely another thing. This is stretch feeling. Pain is when your body is having a problem and is screaming to you so that you do something about it. For example, back pain is when you have a problem in your body and your body is trying to scream, hello, I have back pain. You have to do something about it, otherwise it will become serious. But this feeling is not pain, it's stretch feeling. You are releasing the tension. So every time you exhale, let go. When you inhale, let's imagine you are bringing new air and energy deep inside to the bottom of your hips. It's just visualization because actually you can only breathe to your lungs. But think of how you are sending new fresh energy to the bottom of your hips as you inhale. And exhale, you're bringing all the tension, all the stress that you accumulate here at the bottom of your hips out through your nose. If sometimes you feel like it's so tight that you cannot stand it, let's move forward a little bit and then find a way to move back. Just imagine how your hip is melting down toward the ground. And take a few more breaths here. If you want deeper, you can always move your hips back, or you can slide your pillows or your towels away from each other. And remember that in this kind of pose, it's so deep that even 1 millimeter, one tiny change in the pose create a huge result in your muscles. And then I'm going to get out of this pose. So let's move forward and start bringing your knees back and down to the floor, bringing your legs together. Try to hold your legs, squeeze your legs together. And if you have a pillow or block, let's turn them to the side and put them into your belly, into a kind of cobra pose. But it's more like a sphinx pose here. You do a back bend here and you wait until your legs feel normal again. Take a few breaths here. And then let's slowly get out of the pose by crawling with your hands and go to the table pose again. Let's do some cat and cow here. And make sure that you feel normal again in your hips, and especially make sure that you feel so much more space in your hips. Welcome the new blood circulation into your hips and lower back area. And then we are done with the class for now. How do you feel? We're done. Let me know how you feel and if this fixes your problem in the back and tight hips. Do this every day. But don't forget to strengthen your hips too in my other videos of strengthenings in the legs, because stretching is not enough. So I'm going to see you in the next video, and do yoga every day. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and click on the bell to get my classes every time I release one. See you then. Bye bye.